Hi, Patrice here. I'm
Mommy, I'm gonna put these right by your butt.
okay.
Real fly
I'm
back.
out here at the beach with my 5 children. My oldest is not working today, so and it's a nice day out. Not nice enough to get in the water, but you know. So we're out here kind of having a picnic, I guess. Ah, there's a bee. Okay. So yeah. My son is offering me a chip. You see his little hand. So I wanted to I haven't done a video. You wouldn't know it from your end, but I haven't done a video in a while because my voice actually was like completely shot and I just wasn't feeling well at all. It's still not 100%, but it's better, a lot better. So I had been writing down stuff though that I wanted to talk about in videos when I could speak again. So one of the things that I wanted to tell you about was my sister. I do Marco Polo videos with my sister, and she's in a video to me. She said something about like, hold your head up, champ, you'll be all right. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, like it reminded me of our father. I think I've already said that I'm a mother's only child. My father, I'm the youngest of 6. So my sister, she said that to me in a video, and it's something that my father would say. And in fact, so here's a maybe creepy story, I don't know. But anyway, so what happened was after my father died in 2009, I had this experience where I came back to Jersey because everything was in Maryland, in DC. And so I came back to Jersey and I was going to the bank and I was crying as I was walking from my car to the bank. And as I was crying, obviously I had my head down and I heard my father's voice in my left ear, loud as like you're hearing me right now. And he said, hold your head up, champ, you'll be all right. And I was like, no, I won't. No, I'm not all right. And but looking back, like I wasn't okay then, but I am okay. And he was right, of course. But I look back at that and I'm like, wow, like that was such a gift I felt, from God, that he allowed my father to speak to me like from the beyond. And it was a gift for me, and I'm sure for my father. And then also it made me know that like my father is okay, and it was just really sweet. And so while I'm on that though, I have to tell you about the second story. So at the time, my sister Carrie, who is the sister that I was closest with, she was still alive. And everybody in my family has these like prophetic gifts, right? And so my sister, this one sister Carrie, she was especially like gifted. And she always like saw, knew stuff. Like in fact, when I lost a baby before I had my first son, she was the one who told me, she was like, you know what, grieve, but you will have a son. She was like, in fact, you're going to have my first nephew and you're going to get pregnant with him in January. And sure enough, it happened that way. And so anyway, after my father passed, all of us would like have like these conference calls. And during one of the conference calls, Carrie, everybody was telling their stories like, oh yeah, I saw, we call my father Butch. We was like, yeah, I saw Butch in a dream. I had a dream about him, or, all these different things. And everybody had a story to tell except Carrie. And Carrie was very close to my father. And so one day my husband had taken all of our kids and went to Virginia Beach, and I was home alone. I sat in the middle of my bed, and I remember it so well because I sat in the middle of my bed. I said, okay, Lord, I'm not practicing necromancy. I'm not trying to play with the dead, but I need you to send a message to my father. And I said, I'm going to speak as if I'm speaking to him. But again, I'm not playing those kind of games. Okay. And so I said, Butch, you need to contact Carrie some kind of way, whether it's in a dream or something. You need to convey a message to her because everybody else is coming up with these stories every single day. And I don't think it's cute that you ain't going to visit her. I know you two were very close, and this ain't fair, and don't do my sister like this. You making me mad. And like, I went off on my father. And so, of course, I didn't say anything to anybody about it, but I was not planning on talking about this. Anyway, so a few, I don't know, weeks later, because it was weeks, it wasn't a few days, I talked to Carrie on the phone, and she didn't say nothing. And then she called me back a day or so later, and she said, oh, girl, she's like, I keep forgetting to tell you that I had a dream about Daddy. She called him Daddy. Sometimes she called him Butch, sometimes Daddy. I mostly call him Butch. So she was like, yeah, I had a dream about Daddy. And I said, oh, you did? And she said, yeah, he came to me in the dream playing the guitar for me, and it was real nice, and he visited with me. And she said, and then he came a second day, like the next day, and he was fussing. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, he was fussing at me because the first day when he came in the dream playing the guitar, he said to me, I need you to call Treese and let her know that I came to see you. And she was like, okay, but she forgot to say anything to me. Oh, okay. My son has the sand. He loves to get the sand in his hair and all that, and I ain't about that. I got locks. But anyway, so she was like, she said, yeah, the second day he came to me, he was fussing. He was like, didn't I tell you to call Treese and tell her that I came to see you? She was fussing at me. And I was like, what? I was freaked out because, of course, I didn't tell Carrie about it because, she was the only one that wasn't hearing from him. So I'm not going to, like, rub it in and be like, yeah, I told Butch he better contact. I ain't do none of that. I ain't tell nobody, and no one was home with me except my bird. And I don't think he told nobody, So yeah, just like, oh my gosh. So anyway, that was the tangent I had not planned to go off on. What I did want to tell you, I had my daughter's phone so that I could pull up what I really wanted to talk about. So that story is like dear to my heart too, because it was just like another like gift, So as I was driving home, I was telling my sister about it, and I was like, when you said, hold your head up, champ, that reminded me of Butch and how, it was so nice. And so, of course, from there, I started to feel, sad, missing my father, and thinking about what, just what I could have had with him when he was here, possibly. But, I did tell him before he passed, I said, you know what, we didn't get right while you were here on this side. We'll get it right in heaven.
My shoes off.
You want to take your shoes off, Joshua? He wants to take your shoes off so bad, but it's like 55 degrees out here. Like on the like further in, it's like 70 something, 78. But here on the beach, it's like 55. It's kind of cold, but he want to take his shoes off, whatever. So anyway, I might have to just do a second part of this video because I never wanted to have these videos be long. But I wanted to tell you though about this other part that happens, because things just kind of flow one into another. And what happened was, as I was going home, I don't listen to music, right? And part of the reason is because music is very triggering for me. Even though I sing, it's so weird. I sing, but I only listen to music if it's such that I have to learn the music in order to sing it or something like that. But generally, you're in the car driving or even in your home, you listen to music. I don't. And so, and again, part of it is because it can be triggering for me. When I took my youngest daughter to go and get her locks started, they played music that was like from my childhood in the salon, and man, it was crazy. I sat there, and as I sat there, I cried, and I listened to the music and I sang along, but I was crying, not like but just like tears rolling down. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is totally weird, for me. And in my mom's house growing up, music played 24/7. There could never be just quiet, never. And even now, there has to be, like, the TV has to be on, even if no one's watching. There can't be any quiet. It's almost as if maybe she can't sit with her thoughts, And so I'm sure that some of the traumatic experiences that I had growing up happened, and different songs were playing in the background, and so maybe that's why they now serve as triggers for me. Or maybe it was just a time of, it definitely was a time of uncertainty. I never knew what was going to happen in any given moment living with my mom, because sometimes she would be completely fine and we could even have fun and laugh and joke. And other times, I don't know, it was just change, and like she'd flip out, completely, and you just never knew what you were going to get. So it was just, kind of crazy in that way. And you get this like habit of just hypervigilance, where you're just like you're waiting, like you're sniffing the air to see like when something is about to pop off. And for me, I took on the job of trying to calm the situation. I tried to be like that, like thermometer, like, let's bring the temperature down. Let's, like, calm my thing, But I don't know. So I'm not getting to what I wanted to get to on this video, but I'll do a second video like right after this one. But yeah, I'm just thinking about like the hypervigilance, and my husband and I had a talk last night, and he said that a few months ago we all sat together, all 8 of us, eating. Does that sound like a lot of people? It don't to me. I don't think I have a big family. I know by some people's standards I do. I mean, it's 5 kids, but that I got friends who are like real gangsters who got like 10, kids, and to me that's a big family. But anyway, so my husband said we were all sitting around, and he said that I started to cry. I was like clearly upset, and I started to cry. And he said his issue is that he doesn't want me to miss out on what's going on here and now, because I'm dwelling on the past or anticipating what's going to happen in the future. And I explained to him, I said, well, what you're describing is actually what I'm like aiming to do. I can't speak to 2 months ago because I don't even remember that. I don't doubt that it's not true. But I said, yeah, I'm seeking to do that and stay in the present moment. And the only reason I will look back is because something from the past is affecting my present. And that's only when, so like when I have a trigger, I want to, and that trigger is from something in the past. That means I need to deal with that now, because it'll continue to come back again and impact my future. And I don't want that anymore. I'm trying to get rid of all that stuff. And I said, the interesting thing about this whole trauma journey bit is that you go on this journey so that you can feel better and do better, but it hurts. It's the most painful. It is so painful. It's like I can be completely fine, hopeful, happy one moment, and the next anything can happen. My husband can, in fact, one of my triggers, my goodness, I think I mentioned before, one of my triggers is for my husband to say, how was your day? And I don't want him to stop saying that because I want to get past that. But when he says, how was your day? I forget my whole day. I literally, in that moment, it's like everything was erased. And I don't know. And I often tell him, I'm like, I don't know. Fine, I guess. I don't know. And I won't remember any aspect of what I did that day. And it's because, with my mom, like there was one time, I'll tell you a quick story. One time I was going home from, walking to the bus stop and from school. And a guy, it was a white guy, he said to me as he's walking by, he said, hey girl, you sure are fine. And he just sounded funny. So I laughed. And when I got home, my mother was like, how was your day? And I said, oh my gosh, mommy, something funny happened. This guy He just sounded so weird the way he said it. You know, it wasn't the words so much, it was what he said. I mean, the way he said it, it sounded funny, and with his accent or whatever. And so I'm telling my mother, you know, I was like, yeah, he said, you sure are fine. And she went off. She was like, you are a stupid bee. I don't want to cuss today. So she's like, you are a stupid bee. She was like, don't you know that man will F you and just leave you in the street for dead? You's a stupid whore. And all I was like, oh. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. So I said and did nothing. And that's the kind of stuff that, you know, I could get at any given moment. It was like, you know, like no rhyme or reason. I don't know. I don't know what happened to this day, and I ain't gonna bother trying to figure that out either. But things like that would happen. So I'm gonna end this video now and start a new one. So thank you for watching. If you want to continue on with me, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.